Yo guys, it's Riser. Today guys, we're back with another video. In today's video guys, I'm going to be doing a in-depth God Bridge tutorial. This video is going to cover a couple things such as where you should place your crosshair, the timing of your jumps to make sure that you're not falling off, what keys you want to press to make sure that you also don't fall off and to make sure that you're going in a straight line, and I will also be explaining a couple ways to get the crosshair that I have, which is the arrow crosshair. So to start off, one of the most important factors in God bridging is where you want to place your crosshair. I'm also going to turn on my hand cam for this in case you don't know how to drag click or you're having trouble with it. You can always watch my hand cam and see how I do it. If you're still having trouble, I recommend checking out my video on how to drag click. I go pretty in depth in that tutorial, so feel free to check it out. Alright guys, so I would say the most important thing is to get your crosshair placement right. So basically, you're going to want to line it up pretty even, or if you don't have the arrow crosshair, you're going to want to go into F3, and then you're going to want to go up to where it says facing north towards -Z, and then it will give coordinates. Basically, you want that to be at -135.75. If it's not exact, that's fine, but you want to get it as close as possible. So right now, I'm at -135.74.9, which is close enough, and we're going to use it with that coordinate. So if you don't have the arrow crosshair, I highly recommend using F3 and using those coordinates -135.75. If you don't want to use those, you don't obviously have to. Like, you could pretty much use any crosshair and you could just line it up close. Like, if you want to use a normal crosshair, you might be a little bit below, like right here. That's still fine. You're still able to do it. But yeah, it's good to keep it as close as possible to that top line. So I do highly recommend either using Bedless Noob's his 15k pack, or you can also use his 60k pack. So as most of you know, you need to drag click in order to God bridge. Well, technically you don't need to. There are other ways. You can double click, which is what I'm also going to be showing, because I know some of you can't drag click, and this video is how to God bridge on any mouse. So if your mouse is not good for drag clicking, then I'm going to show you how to do the double clicking style. So if you're going to go with the double clicking method, I'm going to basically show you how to do that. So for most mice, you can click right at the edge and you'll hear a little buzz sound, and oh, okay, I'm AFK. So if you're going to go with the double clicking method, you're going to want to put your finger on the edge of the mouse, which is where you're going to get double clicks. Most mice, or not most mice, but some mice are able to double click, which will basically, it'll register 2 clicks, and it'll make it a lot easier to bridge. So I'm not too good at God bridging with double clicks because I don't do it, but I'm basically going to show how you do it. So you're going to line it up the same exact way. Let's make sure it's close to 135.75, and it is, so we're good. And we're just going to I'm going to try to do it with double clicks. So yeah, it's pretty difficult. It's mostly the jump. Like, I can do the first 6, like, but I can't do like the jump. That part I would say is definitely the hardest. I would say if you're going to God bridge with double clicks, I would go 6 and then stop. I mean, it's not the most efficient way, but it's really hard to do the jump in my opinion. Yeah, so that method is really difficult. So I'm going to go back to the God bridging method. So basically, if you drag too early, it's going to look something like this. And if you drag too late, it's going to turn out like this. You're basically just going to completely miss it. So it's really all about timing. So it's all about finding that perfect moment to where you're jumping and immediately after drag clicking, so it should look like this. And as you can hear in my keyboard and mouse sounds, basically, it's kind of hard to God bridge while talking, but basically, as soon as my finger lets go of the spacebar, that is when I'm doing my drag click. So I'll show it one more time, really quickly. So as you could hear, as soon as I let go of the spacebar, that's when I start my drag. Basically, if you use the tips in these videos, dude, I promise you're gonna be like Bedless Noob. You're gonna be like all those YouTubers that you aspire to be, that are bridging at like 100 miles an hour. And it's honestly, it's a pretty big flex, and it's really cool to do in Bed Wars. It's just really fun. It's really efficient if you get used to it. It's definitely not efficient if you can barely do it. But if you're in Bed Wars and if you're going like this, man, you're gonna, oh, okay, not like that, more like this. That's more like it. There's also other things that can help with drag clicking. You can use masking tape. That's really good because the surface is a little bit like, I don't know how to describe the texture, but the texture of it is good for drag clicking. You can also dip your finger in water or just run your hand under the sink, and then dry it off, and it'll be like a little bit moist or damp, and that's also another really good texture for the mouse, in order to get double clicks and to drag click. So if you've watched this video and you're struggling, you can't drag click, you can't, you're not getting double clicks, try those two methods I just said. They can be really helpful. Another thing you can do that works well too is actually put scotch tape on your mouse, but don't leave it on. Basically, put the scotch tape on the mouse, then take it off. The mouse is going to have a sticky texture, and once it has that stickier texture, when you drag your finger across it, it's going to create more friction. You'll be able to get more double clicks, stuff like that, and it's going to help you out. So make sure you use those last 3 tips if nothing else in this video was working for you, because maybe you weren't able to drag click before. If this video helped you out, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're coming up on 2K, and it would really be appreciated.